Welcome back to Studio F on Fast Times Willy B. We'll be reviewing Rocky. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Keaton back with me. Keaton, how we doing?
Good. How are you, Will?
Doing well. So we're going to step back to 1976 as the next film that has won the weekly poll is Rocky. And boy, do I have a lot to say about this one.
Absolutely. I mean, I've only watched the first four so far, but all are great movies so far.
So we'll be diving into the entire franchise, which is fun. So kind of a light week when it comes to new releases. So I was like, let's just do all 6 of them. Why not?
Absolutely.
We're going to start here today with the one that started it all, the OG. In the director's chair, we got John G. Avildsen. We've got Sylvester Stallone, obviously. The man, the Italian Stallion.
Head honcho, yeah.
Italian Stallion.
That's right.
We've got Talia Shire. We've got Burt Young, Carl Weathers, all of which have kind of made a name for themselves in their careers in Hollywood. But we'll start with the good. And for me, this is where we're going to stick the entire review. I don't know if you'll need a man or a bad, but I can safely say this is one of my perfect movies.
Oh, absolutely. I can't really think of any bad things about the first movie, to be honest.
For me, I'm going to start with just the aesthetic of this movie.
Yeah.
The cinematography is gorgeous. You get some beautiful shots of Philadelphia, especially during training montages, with him doing push-ups with just sights to see behind him, his running scenes, climbing the stairs and doing the jump. It is a beautiful movie to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, and from what I've heard, the budget wasn't super big for the first movie. I mean, it was the first one in the series, makes sense.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, the budget wasn't huge, but with what they had and what they made, beautiful.
Yeah. Had a presence come award season. It took home Best Picture. It took home Best Director and Best Editing, all of which I think are deservingly so. And it was nominated for quite a bit more. Stallone was nominated for writing and for acting, but unfortunately didn't win. Discussion for another day. But obviously, big Stallone fan and wish he got his, just due at this.
Absolutely.
But I mean, all of that is deserving. So I think this is easily my favorite movie from 1976, so I'm glad it ended up winning the poll.
Yeah,
because it was one
I was gonna say I was one of the people that voted for it. I was excited to see it on the show.
Now you get to see yourself.
Absolutely.
But it's just from start to finish. There's nothing I gripe about with this film. When it comes to acting, I think our top 4 are just perfect. I mean, Sylvester Stallone obviously wrote the role of Rocky for himself, so you can't imagine anyone else as Rocky Balboa. That is still Sylvester Stallone's role.
When there are times self-inserts really don't work, but it works this time.
Yes. Talia Shire, I mean, and we'll talk more about her as the franchise progresses, but she's, in this first one, just the shy girl that works the pet store, laughs at his cheesy jokes, is sister to his best friend, and she's not sure about, she's very reserved.
Oh, yeah.
And the more the movie goes on, you see her start to open up a little bit more. She starts talking out to Paulie a little more. So you see her start
standing
gaining,
around.
Yeah, you see her start gaining confidence as the movie goes
Absolutely.
on. Which is really nice. But I think Shire was just perfect for that role. And we mentioned, she's obviously in the Godfather trilogy, so it's cool seeing her too here.
And it's funny, probably, I mean, it took me till probably halfway through the movie to go, oh my God, that's the sister from The Godfather.
Yep, that's her. Great decade for her.
Absolutely.
2 Godfather movies, 2 Rocky movies.
Oh, yeah.
But, and then, I mean, Burt Young as Paulie, he has his moments where he's talking fast, he's speaking nonsense, he's just always looking for a handout. He's an asshole
in the first movie.
Yeah, he really is, but you love him. And then Carl Weathers, I mean.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Apollo Creed. It's just they all play these roles perfectly.
Yeah.
And I have no gripes in the acting at all. I love all 4 of these characters and more of our supporting characters too. I mean, I love Mick. especially as the franchise goes on and you get deeper into this movie. Because
Absolutely.
he's another one at the beginning of this movie. He's kind of a dick.
Yeah, I mean, like when Rocky kind of goes up to him in the gym, and he's like, I've been going to this gym for 6 years, and for 6 years you've been sticking me up. I want to know why.
Yeah.
And they kind of have that little fight in between. Yeah. And then after that fight, Mick, he shows up at his apartment, later on that night, and he's like, "Hey, kid, I need a manager."
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, well, fuck you, old man. Like, where were you like 6 years ago? Exactly. Now you want to be on his team when he starts to hit it big?
Yeah. Yeah. This is just a really good story too. The first half of the movie, Rocky's just down on his luck. He can't hold down a job. He's a loan shark for Joe Spinell, who is another name I recognize also in The Godfather.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so he's just doing that. He's doing these boxing matches here and there, very underground. Made $40.55 in his first match, which is like over $200 in today's term, but still, not much.
Inflation.
Yeah. And so he's just bouncing. He's shooting jokes at Adrian, and then you get the random selection of the Italian Stallion. From the book, from Apollo Creed, and from there, this movie really starts to take off. That's where you get the training montage, and beating up the meat at Paulie's job, and it's every scene is so good, so well shot, beautiful to watch. One of my favorite scenes, I don't know why that really sticks out to me, it's the first press conference, and they're watching it on TV. And I just love how Rocky's eating an apple with a knife.
Yes.
And then I love the ending of the interview where he's like, "Can I say something to my girlfriend, okay? Adrian, it's me, Rocky." Like, she doesn't know who he is. Like, I love it.
Yeah,
it's got so much
good.
charm. It's just one of those movies that is just loaded with charm.
Absolutely. I mean, it's, out of the entire series, the first one is the best because it's just a story of this guy who comes from nothing and is given a chance to really hit it big. And, at the end of the movie, he ends up not winning the fight.
Yeah.
But he pretty much, about 3/4 through the movie, he has a conversation with Adrian. He's like, I know I'm not going to win this fight.
Yeah.
I just want to at least go the distance with Apollo.
Yeah.
And he does, and he just needed that to prove it to himself that he is worth something.
Yeah, for sure. The fight's amazing too.
Oh yeah.
You can kind of get that out of the way.
Oh my gosh.
Fight choreography. You came over and you're like, dude, after watching the movies, I kind of get in a boxing. I'm like, dude, it's boxing's not what you see in these movies. There's a lot of standing around in real life boxing. We unfortunately are past
especially
the
after
golden age.
that. Yeah, especially after that. What is it? Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch that whole thing. I only watched like the highlights.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. I was like,
there were no highlights.
What?
There was a lot of low lights.
Yeah. That not even highlights. Yeah.
But no, we are definitely past the golden age of boxing when it comes to real life.
Absolutely.
Boxing. But these movies fill that void for sure. Because man, those fights are fun to watch.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie makes me cry, and all of the Rocky movies make me cry. So,
oh yeah,
we'll get into obviously the sequels and the emotional pull they have. This one doesn't have any like death or heartbreak in that sense, but just like you said, the fight makes me cry because he did it. He achieved his goal. He went the distance, and he didn't win, but he had a moral victory.
Absolutely,
and it's a beautiful end of the movie. Gosh. Like you said, when you watch these movies, you almost want to like see what it takes to get into boxing, which obviously would never work out for either.
Oh my gosh! No, I remember I told you too. I was like, dude, like watching these movies, I think it'd be kind of cool to get into boxing.
Yeah,
I could never just get hit after hit, like in the face, and take that kind of pain.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. The score.
I'll let you go first.
As I said, the score is 100% in the good. As you get more into the franchise, it becomes a mix of score and soundtrack. But this one the first movie is all score.
Oh, yeah.
And, Gonna Fly Now, with the training montage and the jumping and the subtle, like, lingering score that goes throughout the movie. And it all sounds very similar, but it's just all, it's got, like, a whimsical nature to it.
Well, it's funny.
Motivational.
Absolutely. It's funny when you said score, I thought you were talking about like the final score of the movie.
Oh, no.
No, the soundtrack though. Yeah. Amazing. So You know, I used to go to the gym maybe 3 days a week. Now I'm going like 1 day a week. I really need to pick it back up.
You're telling me I'm with you, man.
I got to get rid of this.
Maybe we can go together.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, when it's funny when I go on the treadmill, I'll listen to the Rocky soundtrack while I'm like gonna fly now while I'm running.
Yeah.
But like 10 minutes in, I'm already winded. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
like, I can't.
The Rocky scores and soundtracks to at least the first 4 movies. I mean, all of them basically. Has always been a soundtrack that like just makes me want to run through a brick wall.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's so good. Motivational, inspirational, whimsical, all of the, AL words you can use.
Yeah.
Fantastical.
Yeah.
They're all just the perfect way to describe this score. It is, in my opinion, one of the best ever.
Absolutely.
Score-wise, and just fits the movie so well. Yeah, man, I love this movie.
It's great. I mean, seriously, it. It's funny. I watched it for the first time back in it's February now, but I watched it for the first time back in December, and which is actually a really good time to watch it because it actually the first one takes place around Christmas time. Yeah. But when I watched it for the first time, I got done with it and I went, why did it take me till I was 23 years old to get into these movies?
Yeah.
Like, they're so good. I should have gotten into these movies like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Thankfully, my dad showed me a few. I think he showed me 1, 2, and 4. So I got into 3, 5, and 6 fairly late. I would say probably a few years ago, honestly. But 1, 2, and 4 I watched quite a bit as a young teen / preteen.
It's probably weird seeing
loved them
when you went to 4. And then seeing Rocky and Apollo being like best friends, you're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, 4 was actually the first Rocky movie I ever watched.
Yeah, oh really?
So I watched them as friends to start, and then went back and watched 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's the connection between this? It's 3. But
right.
No, man, this what a movie. I gotta say, Sylvester Stallone and Carl Weathers too, once again, are just the perfect guys for these spots.
They're like, oh my gosh, I mean, they're like
they're Rocky and Apollo.
Doc, or I was gonna say they're like Doc and Marty. They just have such good chemistry together. I mean, yeah.
Man, what a movie. Cinematography I already said, but I'm gonna say it again also in the good. Just a very beautiful movie. There's really, on the technical side thing too, things are so well done. Like, it obviously won Best Editing. It's a very well edited film. I think it sounds good. Obviously the score is good. Mm-hmm. It looks good. Camera work is really good. We get a lot of interesting shots too in the arena that I like.
Yes.
Like the one where it's from the scoreboard while the mic's being pulled up.
Yes, that's a good shot.
And then obviously a lot of great shots while the fight is happening too, which is cool.
Yeah, when I love the kind of like the pre-fight. It was the night before when Rocky, he was just contemplating this whole thing. He's like, I'm not going to win. Yeah. And he goes to, it's like probably midnight or something. He goes into the arena where they're going to fight, and he's looking at their big posters of each other, and he's just kind of looking around, and I think like the arena director or whatever, he comes out, he's like, Rocky, what you doing here? And he's, again, just that whole, he doesn't
taking it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a really good job too at like just showing like that he is down in his luck, comes from nothing, and he just is embracing this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Love all of his pets.
The turtles. Oh my gosh.
Moby Dick, the fish.
Yes. Well, a funny story. Turbo told me at work. Sylvester Stallone still has those turtles to these day.
Really?
To this day.
Wow.
Yeah. I might have to look that up just to verify, but yeah, that's what he told me. He said he still has those turtles.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, man. What a movie.
He could have just been messing with me, but I don't know.
Maybe. But it is just one of those movies that makes you want to get up and do something,
Absolutely.
Motivating, for sure. Anything else for you in the good?
I feel like we covered most of it.
Yeah,
and again, like I know we try to look for some of the bad in movies, but I really can't think of anything bad for this movie. It's just got everything going for it.
I don't have anything in the meh or the bad, so if you don't need it, we can
Skip it.
we can go right over and we'll go to our final thoughts and ratings then.
Absolutely.
What do you want to leave off with the original Rocky, and what do you give it out of 10?
So honestly, I mean, it's just a great movie. I mean, even if you're not into boxing, like I was when I was going into the movie, still watch it.
Yeah.
You know, you might not even come out being like, "Oh, dude, I want to get into boxing now. I want to watch boxing." You know, it's still just a great story of watching this guy come from nothing, getting this opportunity, and then just hitting it big. It's a great story.
Yeah.
And honestly, when it comes to the rating, I'm not gonna dance around it. You know, so 9.5 out of 10. No, it's a 10 out of 10 movie for me.
I 100% agree with you. This is, like I said, one of my perfect movies. So I'm just going to throw out the 10 out of 10 rating as well. It's just one of those movies that has super high replay value.
Yes.
Every rewatch it feels like I'm watching it for the first time again.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's just a magical film to watch. It's just got so much charm and character to it. And Rocky is such a good character. It's a very well written film by Stallone. It's a very well directed film by Avildsen. Very well acted film by our cast. It's just everything about it I love. It's one of those films that I revisit fairly often. I may not revisit the entire franchise fairly often, but this one and another one we'll get into later are two movies that I seek out more than most movies.
Absolutely.
And like you said, it definitely is one of those movies that feels really good to watch in the fall, winter season.
Yeah. Leading up to Christmas.
A lot of these movies are. 2, I think, takes place in November. 4, we'll talk about, is also Christmas.
You mentioned, I think most of them do take place around Christmas.
I mean, 4's Christmas Day is the fight.
It is, yes,
So,
yes. We'll get to that eventually.
But yeah, man, it's one of my perfect movies.
Absolutely.
It's one of those 10.
No doubt.
That'll do it for Rocky. Keaton, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
For watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. Stick around because we've got the rest of the Rocky franchise coming your way. Keaton will be staying with me for all 6 of them, so please tune in and let us know what you think of Rocky. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.